Right, hello. In the Nintendo Direct that we just had literally on the 27th, we had a new Pokémon Legends Z-A trailer, and in this video I'm going to be breaking it down in depth and walking you through it essentially. I know I did this on my last video, but I also did talk about the other Nintendo Switch 2 games that are looking to come out soon as well, so if you haven't seen that, make sure to watch it. It's on the channel. It'll probably pop at the end of the video, but we're going to go into more depth about the Pokémon Legends Z-A trailer. So if you are new here, make sure to like and subscribe, it really helps out, and this is the place for all Pokémon Legends Z-A news as the game comes out in about 4 years time. Let's go. The game looks fine in the sense of the graphics. Like I said, a lot of the points I'm going to say in this video, a lot of what I'm going to say in this video is going to be said in a lot of the other videos as well. With this trailer, I do think we could probably do a little bit more fine-tuning in a sense, a bit like when, like I said, BDSP, whatever it's called, came out. There was a little bit, if you remember, of a little bit of fine-tuning, that criticism that kind of came along, and they did it. And then the game graphically looked great. Obviously, we don't talk about certain things about BSPD, but it did look good, graphically wise, anyways. So I think they could definitely do with a little bit of fine-tuning the graphics, and we'll definitely get into that in a moment. Yeah, because like obviously the character running around, like it looks fine. I don't understand him floating, to be honest with myself, but that's the game for you, innit? Starter Pokemon, I'm still confused. I'm still confused by the starter choices, to be honest with myself. And it's been, what, over a month now since we had it, and I still can't wrap my brain around why we've had those 3 starters. It just doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense in my head. Like, obviously, a lot of people predicted it was going to be the likes of Piplup because of Empoleon. We also predicted it was going to be Snivy because it was a royal Pokemon. And then I think Scorbunny was the last one just because football. And obviously France are pretty good at football. So I think just, it's such a weird trio. Like, Totodile, I don't see why. Chikorita as well. They're both from Johto. I think one of the things we kind of thought was, well, they're not going to choose 2 from the same region. Because if you look at Pokemon Legends Arceus, obviously the trio they had were from 3 different regions, so they wouldn't do that. And then Tepig, like, it's such a weird trio. Like, it is such a weird trio. I don't mind the Pokemon. I'm gonna be going for Totodile, probably. Do I go Totodile or do I go for? See, that's the thing. That's what I gotta think about. It looks great in the sense of, I don't know. I don't know. I'm 50-50. I think. Especially with the map, being only in Lumiose, I'm still very 50-50 on that. But like, the characters themselves look quite cute. Like the Pokemon, like obviously it won't look like this in-game. And obviously a lot of the thing that we've got with this game is it being a redevelopment plan for Lumiose City. And I think that is going to kind of play a big part in what the criticism could be. I think most of the comments about this game and this video will probably come later on in the trailer when they start to deep dive into the game. Because I think right now they're just showing off, you know, this is what the game is going to look like. Nothing too in depth until we get here with the wild zones. I still don't know his name. Penguin Charlie, whatever his bloody name is. He made a video, and basically I think his title along the lines of Pokemon fans don't like me. And he basically said that Pokemon Legends Z-A is lazy. Fair enough. Honestly, fair enough. I think a lot of the criticism, like Pokemon Legends Arceus, because the issue is obviously Pokemon Legends Arceus was so good. It was so good. It was obviously the whole of Sinnoh, obviously, no, in the game it's called Hisui, but it was basically building up the whole of Sinnoh. And they've kind of restricted it to just Lumiose City in this game, and it's just a bit like, why? Like, I get it's a redevelopment plan for Lumiose City, but Kalos is such a region full of story and riches. Like, I don't see why it's just Lumiose City. I think that's a big issue. They can make the city big, but I think they could be missing out on a lot of content by not including the rest of Kalos. And another reason why he said it was lazy was, it's a bit like you just putting the Pokemon in an area to catch. There's no creativity in the sense of, like in Pokemon Legends Arceus, they were in their natural habitat. They just kind of put them in these areas, and I get where he's coming from. In my head, it's a bit like they were like, okay, we're going to build around Lumiose City because obviously they want to do this redevelopment plan with Lumiose City, which is fine. Okay, you know, if they do it right, then fine. I'll hold my hands up and I'll say I was wrong. The game's going to be decent. But the issue is, like, I feel like they've kind of chosen this and then kind of think, oh shit, where are we going to put Pokemon? Like, yeah, you can have a few Pokemon roaming around the area a little bit, but where are you gonna put some of the Pokemon? Like, it's like, I feel like that's what they kind of forgot that, and I think that's where the wild zones have come from. Obviously, you're gonna have like the rivers and stuff that's gonna have the Pokemon, the water Pokemon, you know, like the Magikarp, the Gyarados, the Horses, and all them. But it's just a bit like, yeah, where do we put the rest of the Pokemon? Yeah, you're gonna have the flying Pokemon in the air, but you know, the grass types, the rock types, you know, where's Geodude gonna go? And I feel like, oh, we've got to put somewhere in. Let's just create these wild zones that are gonna just like be around the city. And like, I thought the kind of way they were gonna do it is you could go basically beyond the city, but still call it Lumiose City in a sense, and there would be some wild areas up there. But obviously, the wild zones don't look too big. I think that's my main issue as well. These wild zones don't look that big at all. And I hope that we're just being shown small wild zones, because it just also doesn't kind of make sense that like Pokemon are just living in the city, and like, you could get them on rooftops, which is cool, but why? And this Steelix, and I think this was my main issue, like it just looks so bad. The Steelix looks so bad, and I just don't see what they're doing with it. I really don't. This is what I mean by we need some big shifts done in making the game look better, because let me tell you, if Steelix is going to be looking like that in the game, it's not a great start, because, well, what the rest of the Pokemon are going to look like. And I think there's some definite fine-tuning to do with the graphics of the game, because they don't look bad. They probably look like a 6 out of 10 so far, but we're on new hardware. The game should look 100 times better, and like definitely like a mile better than Pokemon Legends Arceus. So there'll be no excuses, because the always excuse was, well, it's on the Nintendo Switch, it's not a great console for graphics, even though the Zelda games look fantastic. But they're on new hardware now. If it does release on the Switch 2, which I imagine it will, there's no excuse. It looks fine. Obviously, the big shift into the night, and like it says, the aura's changed, and it turns into this battle simulator in a sense, which is quite interesting, because it's at the same time as Pokemon Champions, and obviously the Z-A Royale, like a battle royale sort of thing. And basically, it's just you can battle trainers, and that's fine. Like, obviously, we're gonna need a lot of battling, and like I said in the last video I did, I feel like they've kind of done this because the main criticism with Pokemon Legends Arceus was there wasn't enough battles, which is quite ironic, because it's probably got the best battle of all time with the Vodo fight. But it didn't have a lot of battles, and it's fair enough that they've kind of they've taken the criticism, I think, and they've gone, okay, well, they introduced more battles, but I just hope that this isn't the main part of the game, like the Z-A Royale. I think they're just introducing it now to kind of build up hype. I'm a little bit concerned. And like the battles themselves, like they do look fun. To be fair, like they do look fun, and you can sneak up on people, bit like in Legends Arceus, which is great. Like, I like that aspect of it, and I'm just happy Pokemon battles are back with trainers, and they have kind of developed Pokemon battles in a way that is more interesting. And obviously Mega Evolutions do look sick. Mega Evolutions are fantastic in this game, and that's one of the things I will say. They've introduced it back, I think, very well, and obviously we're rumored to be getting 27 new Mega Evolutions. Justice for Flygon still hasn't got one, but I don't know, I'm still concerned, and I think it's just because we still haven't seen much. We've seen very little in the sense of actual gameplay. This obviously trailer had a lot more gameplay, but we still haven't seen much proper gameplay. We've seen a few battles, and that's about it, really. And this is obviously the next big hitter. Is obviously you've got the ranks from Z to A. I like what they did there with the game, and this is kind of why I think, and I'm a bit concerned that this is going to be a big chunk of the game. It's called Pokemon Legends Z to A, and a lot of people call it Z-A, which is fine. Obviously, that's how they introduced it. But I think it is meant to be the Z to the A. I think it's going to be really primarily on this battling system. And if they've named the game after this, the only thing I kind of hope is it's an old traditional Lumiose City thing that we didn't have in Pokemon X and Y for whatever reason, and it has got some like lore behind it, and we are going to be seeing a lot more legends in a sense. But it's still a concern. Like, it's called Legends Z-A. This is I don't want the whole game to be this battle simulator sense. So I want more historic, because it's a Legends game. You can't have legends of the present. Like, it's not how it works. And like, you got this, you know, and they say obviously when you get to rank A or whatever, you get a wish, which I think is also going to be a big part of the story, which is like, it's fine. Like I said, the graphics themselves look alright. Like, I think there will definitely be some fine tuning that needs to be done. Obviously AZ there, Zygarde, like obviously we're going to be getting we are going to be having some implementations in the lore, and I think that's a big thing. If we get some news kind of about the lore, but obviously the big hitter with this trailer was we still don't have a release date, and I think that's my main issue with this game now, is where is this release date? Until then, I'm still very skeptical on when the game's going to be coming out. I'm still hoping for an earlier release than December, but the later we wait for a release date, the later this is going to be. Unless they're waiting for the Nintendo Switch 2 to be announced, and maybe, touch wood, my mad prediction, which if this is right, then I should be held up on a pedestal. We're going to be getting a trailer for the new Nintendo Switch 2 on the 2nd, and we're going to be getting a release date for Pokémon Legends Z-A. We're not, because it's like a 4 or 5 day difference, but we need a release date soon, and I think that's my main issue. It's still saying late 2025, which that doesn't even say, in my head, at least September. Like, is that the mid? I mean, technically it's later, but we're talking October, November time with that sort of date, and it's just depressing. Like, it's going to be nearly 2 years since these games were announced, and we're still waiting. I think that's my main issue. But what do you guys think about the trailer? Let me know in the comments down below, and have a wonderful day. Take care.